And today's topic, we are talking about our success workbook and journal, and how do we create a plan, and more importantly, how do we stick with the plan so that we can see our goals to fruition. And I feel we've put together a success workbook and journal. So there's plenty of place to journal. There's definitely still calendar space for your daily agenda. If you like to write down, I know some of you, I know Stacy, she loves to write down her to-do list. Some of us just do everything digital, and that's okay. So you don't have to utilize every page in your success workbook and journal. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and go, if I don't do all 7 pages every week, then I'm a failure. No, that's not what it's for. It's a tool for you to determine what's going to be best for you. So if you like to write down your agenda, you want to do that. If that doesn't really, something you need, and you just want to make sure you put your monthly goals and you set, you fill in your weekly winning resource and you do your decision tracker, great, okay? And as a Launch My Success member with the weekly group coaching, you will have a coach that will go on a deep dive with you in this and help you see how it all applies to your goals, how the weekly winning word applies to your goals, and how you can fill in this workbook. And I do want to say as well, for our business resource, our founding business resource members, the added benefit for you is that you do have weekly group coaching with me on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. that you can participate virtually if you want to. If you are a founding community member, you would need to upgrade to a Launch My Success membership to get the weekly group coaching, and you can determine which one of the success partners would best fit you based on time and personality and who you know and love. And that's what Terry did. Just as an example, Terry was a founding community member, and he won 2 months of free success coaching at our open house in the summer. And he chose to work with Kurt. And then after his 3 months, he made a decision to upgrade his membership to a Launch My Success member so that he could continue on getting that weekly group coaching. So just want to make sure we're clear about that. Okay, yes, thumbs up. Yay, Terry, you guys got your emojis. I love it. If you got your emojis, break them out. That's great. And so, so nothing we do is designed to overwhelm you, okay? Everything we do is designed to help you. And I feel that the only reason it would be overwhelming is if you've got too much going on, if you're spreading yourself too thin. You are part of this group, hopefully, because you want to improve yourself. You want to better yourself. You want to have something to keep you focused. You want accountability. You want to set goals, and you want to achieve them. And you know that you need pieces of the puzzle of success to make that happen so that you can put your success puzzle together. And so hopefully that's why you are a part of this group. And we give you a buffet, if you will, of opportunity. The opportunity is limitless. Every week there's opportunity for you to connect, learn, grow, be motivated. There is not a week that goes by that we don't have something that you can participate in our group. That doesn't mean that it's mandatory or we take roll call. If you can't participate, we just assume that that's not the right thing for you, or you are busy at work, hopefully, and you have other things that you need to accomplish and you can't do everything. That's okay, right? If you participate in everything, that's amazing. The more the more you put into it, the more you're going to get back out of it, just like anything. But I do want to encourage you to use, that's why we started off our monthly mastermind forum with focus. I do want to encourage you to take some time and sit back and just say, where do I want to focus? What tools do I really want to use to help me be successful? And what makes sense? And I'm going to assume, because you are a paying member of I've Decided, that it would make sense that you use this workbook, this success workbook and journal, because it's included in your membership. It would be silly to go pay something else and use something else that's not correlating with the weekly winning resource. The free content that you get included in your membership every week that you can utilize in your businesses with your team, sharing that information. It wouldn't make sense really for you to not put those two things together. So I really want to encourage that. So with that said, there's 3 months worth, 3 solid months worth of opportunity for you to fill in on your Success Workbook and Journal. And then, once it's done, you'll need a new one. You'll get new ones as you participate in the conferences. They'll be in your success bag. If you happen to need a new one or you just want an extra one, you can buy them on our website for $12. It's very inexpensive. But you should, if you participate in our conferences, every new member gets one. And if you participate in our conferences, you really probably won't ever have to buy one necessarily. But if you do want to, they are for sale. And so if you need any extra ones. And this time we designed them, and I'm going to pull up a screen so you can actually see. But this time we designed them so that you can start when you want to. We get started and then we put it to the side and we forget. And then we go, oh man, right? And guess what? That's okay. With this workbook, it's okay. If you mess up and lay it down for a month and then February comes and you go, okay, I'm going to get back to it in February. Well, you can just start back in February and fill in the next calendar for February. You can fill in the next calendar for July. It doesn't have to be run in order, January, February, March. You could, in your 3-month workbook, you could have March, July, and October, right? So it's really cool. It meets you where you are. Or if you're doing a really good job staying on track, you can utilize January, February, March, then you get a new one, April, May, June. That's the ultimate goal in a perfect world. But obviously, we don't live in a perfect world. In fact, we live in a fallen world, a completely broken world. And I would be remiss if I just didn't acknowledge what we're experiencing right now in our country. It saddens me, and I don't want to cry. I'm not going to spend time talking about it. That's not what we're here for. It just breaks my heart. I know it does all of yours too. And which is another, all I can say is this, another reason why the communities like ours, we're in an urgent situation. We have to help people. We have to give people encouragement and help them see that they were born for a purpose and that they can accomplish their goals and dreams. With all the pieces of the puzzle, I don't care who you are, where you were born, what your background is, what you've done, whatever, we were born for success, every single one of us. So with that said, we got to focus on what we can change. And that's us. And that's improving ourselves. I can change me. I may not be able to change the world, but I can change me. And we can encourage and be a person of good cheer, which happens to be our weekly winning word. And I utilize that as an example in showing you each of the pages that you would fill out in your Success Workbook and Journal. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. So the first thing that you want to fill in is your month, right? So as you sit down and you fill in January 2021, month and year, you put you make your calendar, okay? And of course, those calendar spots are not big enough for you to write every single thing down on that date that you would want to do. There's more space for that. That's not what that's intended for. But it is intended for you to put the big thing that's important, okay? And so you can see my example. So like on the first curve, 7 to 12, that's my schedule at curves. I put that there because that's a big deal. I got to be here. That's my schedule. I can't really fill in anything else during that time. So if I want to just see my month at a glance and see the big things that I have going that are very important on that day, that's what that's meant to do. It's not, I don't want you to go, there's not enough space for me to write everything in. That's not the point. If I look at my month at a glance, I know that I have my curves here, here, here. This is my day that I spend working on I've decided. I have community networking and learning on the 7th and the 14th. I have Kinsley written down on the 15th and 16th because I'm taking her back to college. Do you see what I'm saying? So those are the big things. That's my schedule at Curves. I can't change that. I'd have to talk to Melissa to change that. I need to be there. I can't fill anything out. This is my I've decided day. I can put all kinds of appointments on another page that I'm going to fill out in here. But this is just to share with me my month at a glance. This is the day that I work on. I've decided fully committed to any appointments, meetings, and that kind of thing. Again, curves. And so you just kind of, there's our conference. I wrote in the conference on the 30th. You can see how just at a glance, we have the major things that I need to know at a glance, okay? Month to-dos. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted on our community page, but my word for the year is massive. And last year, my word for the year was epic for 2020. And of course, it was an epic year, but not quite in the epic that I had in mind. So I am hopeful that my word massive this year will go more in my direction. And it's going to be just massive goals achieved, massive focus, massive growth, massive memberships, just everything. That's just how my brain works. I'm a massive dreamer, not a big dreamer, a massive dreamer. It's just how God wired me. And so it's for me, that's a great word. And I know a lot of you have come up with some awesome words and you shared those on our private community member group. And I loved them because I'm like, oh, that just so makes sense for who they are and what I know about you guys. And it's awesome. Every word is amazing. So for me, my quote for the month was the path to success is to take massive, determined action. And that's what I want to be reminded of during the month when I take a glance, right? And two major things that I got to accomplish is finish my book, because I have to have that done actually by the end of Sunday so that it'll be at print and be ready before the 30th. And then market the conference. And so those are two very important things for me to get done. And so yours would look like what you would want yours to look like. Make sense?
Kim, quick question.
Yes.
Can you share real quick how you did this, filled it in digitally? What did you use?
Okay, I just used Canva. And the only reason why I filled it in, I tried to make print that looked like handwriting. I only filled it in digitally because I wanted to show you guys what it should look like. Mine's in manually.
But I'm curious, yeah, obviously that wasn't your handwriting, but like for me personally, I would be interested in doing it digitally instead of handwritten. So thank you.
I don't know how you would digitally fill in your book. So I don't think that would, you'd have to have a digital book, which that's a great idea, maybe. So we could look into that, but with your book, you wouldn't be able to, you have to write it in. It's meant to write in. We'd have to have a digital book, which is absolutely a possibility. Okay. All right. So that is your monthly calendar. Okay. And then the next thing you're going to do is your monthly goals. This is right next to it's the page that's right next to your at a glance. And I just gave an example of what you would fill in on these pages. For me, personal, finish my book, read my Bible 15 minutes daily. Family, get Kinsley back to school, date night with Joe, call my mom at least 2 times per week, and send my sister devotions. Those are my family goals. Okay. For health, run 100 miles. That's in a whole month. We break that down into 4 days a week before you start going 100 miles. Not at one time. That's just my total goal that I'll break down on a weekly basis. This is a month goal. So my goal is to run 100 miles, drink 2,790 ounces of water, work out at Curves 12 times, and take my supplements every day. Those are my health goals. My work goals is to reach out to do business, call my members not seen. So if there's members that I haven't seen or talked to, I want to call them. And then, of course, the conference. So, Stacy, you raised your hand. Did you want to make a comment? No, you were just, okay, great.
I was one of those call the members not seen.
You were. So, you can see that I filled these in, but these are my real goals. I wanted you to see this as an example. And these are, and you want to make sure that you're utilizing your real goals, okay? So that's just my monthly goals at a glance. Pretty simple, right? You fill in the blank, and it's just taking the time to do this. And you only have to do these 2 pages once a month. This isn't something you do every week. You just go ahead and fill that in at the beginning of your month. So those 2 pages, you're going to fill in once a month, okay? But now you should see, incorporate your weekly winning resource. See that? Great. Okay. Every week, you guys get free content. And trust me when I tell you, if you were writing all this content yourself, you would be spending somewhere between 6 and 10 hours a week, okay? So if you have the time to write all your own content and spend 6 or 10 hours a week to do that, awesome, and you should be doing it for yourself. That's awesome. But if you don't have time to write all this content and do all the research and put this out, you should be utilizing the content that you get every week from us that I've decided, right? It's for you. It's for you to use. You get an email, and I've just printed it out. We post it on the website, and it is a message from us. And then you get your weekly winning word. You get a weekly winning article. Usually we write the article. Sometimes we share an article if we find one that's so good that we really couldn't write one better. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Why reinvent the wheel? Just share the article. Sometimes when I'm doing research and I find an article, I'm like, that's really awesome. So we're just going to share that. So we have our weekly winning quote, which this week I'm so proud of our weekly winning quote because it's an original by one of our community members, Brianna Wells, who owns Coach Bree Cheer Cottage. And it's leave sparkle and cheer wherever you go. Isn't that awesome? And then you get a calendar of events for that week. I mean, it's full of information, and you can utilize the weekly winning word to encourage your clients, to encourage your staff. You know, you can post it in your office each week on the wall that says, our weekly winning word this week is cheer. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? This is why you're a member of I've Decided. You have this. I don't own the rights to the word cheer. I don't think anyone really owns the rights to that word. It's just a word. And so I don't mind if you utilize this and share it. It's what it's for, and encourage people with it, okay? So you want, and a way to stay on track and a way to set yourself up for the week, if you want to use this content that you get, would be to fill in this page of your workbook. It just makes it a little easier because it puts it right at your little hands so that you don't have to go back to your email every time or log into the website every time if you want to go, oh no, what was that weekly quote about sprinkled stuff? You know, you don't have to go, oh, let me log into my membership website or figure out where the email is. You just have to have your book, and this fits right in your bag or your purse or at your desk, and you can pull it right out and share. So you just fill in the blanks. Your weekly winning word and definition, cheer. The definition is to express approval, give comfort to, bring joy or encourage. And the weekly winning quote is leave sparkle and cheer wherever you go. It reminds you of your things to do to read your weekly winning article, right? And I print mine out. I love to print it out and read it. You can do whatever you want. Read your weekly winning article. The weekly winning article this week was 3 ways being of good cheer will have a positive impact on your life. Okay. It actually makes you a healthier person. Facts, that's proven. Statistically, research has shown that people who have a more positive demeanor and are people of good cheer have better blood pressure and have less risk of heart disease. It's amazing. So it actually makes you a healthier person. Complete your goal tracker, which I'm going to show you that in just a second. And then create your weekly winning challenge plan, which I'll show you in just a second. So it just gives you those things to do. And then I've decided to just another little place where you can just give yourself a reminder. And what I did was complete my workbook weekly because I got to do it too. I can be really, it's kind of like working out at curves. I know you guys think I probably work out at curves every day. Melissa can attest, she's laughing right now. I can't see her, but I'm sure she's laughing if you can see her, because all the time she goes, did you do your curves workout today? And I'm like, yeah, not yet. Okay. So you probably think I work out at curves every day. I don't. It's easier said than done, even when you're putting stuff together. So I decided to make sure that I hold myself accountable and wouldn't expect you to do anything that I wouldn't do. So complete my workbook weekly and make a plan and stick with it. Dang it. Why is that so hard? Make a plan and stick with it, right? So that's what I've decided to do. And yours would have whatever it is that you've decided to do. Okay? Any thoughts, comments, questions before we move into the next thing we're going to do is our weekly challenge. I don't hear anybody, so I just got to get back.
I do.
Okay, great.
Cindy.
Go ahead. Hey, Cindy.
What I decided to put in the I've decided to box is something directly related to the weekly winning resource and to the article. Rather than something general, I made it specific to that.
Great idea.
I decided to not allow negative emotions to take over my thoughts and conversations this week.
You be a better person of good cheer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got what Cindy just said? Because that's a great way of doing it too. And I'm going to start doing it like that going forward. That's a great way to just bring it back to what the word is. I love that. That's awesome. Okay. So then the next focus for you is your weekly winning challenge. Now, again, I want to say this, you guys. Do you see the weekly winning challenge? Great. Okay. I want to say this, you guys. Again, this is not to make your life harder. This is to make things easier. And you go, how can doing a challenge make my already crazy week better? I don't know how that works, but I'm just telling you, you need to trust me on this. It does. When you take time to focus your mind on things, it gives you more energy. It somehow expands your time, and you are more productive than you would be if you just sit spinning your wheels 8 or 10 hours a day. That's all I can tell you, and you have to trust me. And if you start doing your challenge, and at least just taking a baby step, and you don't have to do usually the challenges are very simple anyway. So I never put a challenge out that wouldn't be relatively simple. So we won't even go there. They're all pretty simple challenges. You have to be committed and you have to take some time to do it. But I promise you, if you do, somehow it makes your life better. It just does. Okay. So this week, you just write in, what is my challenge? And I just literally used the weekly winning resource. And the challenge in there was that we needed to encourage each other, right? So being a person of good cheer is about encouraging and to express approval, give comfort, or bring joy or encouragement. And so the challenge this week, since it was the first week of the new year, was just to get back involved and to attend the Master Forum that was on Tuesday and attend Community Networking and Learning. You could do both or you could pick one. Okay. So it would be up to you and based on your life and what you want to do. Obviously, I was going, since I was facilitating both this week, which just FYI, for those of you who are new today or watching the recording and you haven't been to a community network and learning, I'm not always the facilitator for this. I'm usually not. We always have an expert speaker sharing and giving us great information, but I just wanted to get us started on the right foot with the Success Workbook today. So I'm not necessarily always the facilitator of our community networking and learning. In fact, most of the time I'm not. The Mastermind Forum, I do facilitate on the first Tuesday of every month. So and then you just, envision success looks like, and envision is this, there's 6 steps to success, right, that we teach in the Decide acrostic. And so we sneak those words in throughout this workbook. And so envision is that second step. If you're going to be successful, you have to envision, you have to put yourself in the future. How is it going to look? How's it going to feel? All that good stuff, right? So connecting with I envision success looks like for me is that I'm going to be connecting with the I Decided community this week, which I was so excited about. And so I was just envisioning these meetings and being with all of you today and how many people would show up. And I envisioned a whole bunch. And, so I just put that in my mind. And then I envisioned learning and being motivated. And even though I was facilitating today, I'm learning. I just learned something from Cindy. I created this workbook and Cindy just taught me something that I think is a better idea than what I was going after. How cool is that? So it doesn't matter if you're facilitating or you're showing up to learn from someone. You're going to show up and you're going to teach somebody by sharing your wisdom and sharing what you're doing. And then you're going to learn from somebody. And I love that. There's just learning and being motivated. And for me, that's what I envisioned the success looked like. And then you go through with my plan for completing the weekly challenge. Okay, so how will it impact my success? Oops, I didn't answer that, but that's great. You want to make sure you know that. But so my plan for completing the weekly challenge was to make sure that I have the dates and the times on my calendar. Do not schedule anything else at that time. And to make sure I have access to the Zoom link and password. And so, if you're planning on completing your challenge and you're going to attend 1 or 2 of the meetings this week as a part of the challenge, these are things that you would want to make sure you're not scrounging around last minute trying to find the Zoom link. You want to make sure you're prepared and have that ready, okay? Put it in your calendar. And how will it impact my success, although I didn't write that in? It's going to impact my success greatly by being surrounded by like-minded people. I'm going to learn something new that I'm going to be able to apply to help me achieve my goals. It's going to be motivating to be with people who are encouraging. It's, again, back to what we're dealing with in our world right now. We have to be encouraged by each other, or otherwise we're going to all go into terrible depression. So we have to be encouraged by one another. And so that's what it looks like to just fill in your weekly winning challenge. Okay. As I switch gears, anybody have any questions or thoughts on that? I get the next slide up here. Just unmute yourself and I can hear you if you do.
Kim, it's Cindy.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
If you have a specific goal in mind that you're working on, so lose weight, we'll just say that that's an example.
Okay.
Would you gear that weekly winning challenge page specific to that?
Yes.
Something that you're going to do that week.
Very good point. And let me clarify, 100% yes. Your workbook is geared around your goals. I'm just showing you my goals as an example. But
Right.
absolutely, yes, it would be geared around what your goals are, okay?
Right, but which one of your goals were you working on with the example you showed us?
So I'm here on my weekly decision tracker.
Okay,
And my top priority for the week is to get members signed up for conference.
okay,
So I had on my to-do, if you remember back to the pages on my to-do list, you saw conference a lot, right? And so for me, for this week, the most important thing is to get members signed up for the conference. If losing weight is my most important goal for January, then for me, my top priority for the week may be to work out 3 times a week or drink 70 ounces of water every day, right? So my top priority for the week is to get members signed up for the conference. That's my top priority. So how am I going to achieve it? So I'm going to create a SMART goal, because I can't just say my goal is to get some members signed up for the conference. I got to get, Kurt would be hearing me all week going, I got to get members signed up for the conference. Oh my gosh, it's Friday. I haven't got members signed up for the conference. That's what we typically do, don't we? We sit around all week talking about what we got to do, but then we get to the end of the week and we didn't do it because we didn't have an action plan and we didn't break it down into a SMART goal, something specific, okay? So my specific goals this week is to email, text, and post instructions. And that's what all of you know, your members, you've been seeing that happening this week, right? I've been emailing, testing, and posting instructions and sharing it every time I can. Now, next week becomes a little more urgent. So most likely my weekly decision tracker next week is going to be call every member who hasn't registered. So that sense of urgency will increase and that might change for me. But this is where I'm at this week. So how will I measure it? I'm going to measure by how many people are signing up. I could say measure it by how many people are responding to email, text, or the post. I could determine which one's getting the best response. And then I could hit that a little bit harder. And of course, these are just reminders. Is it attainable? Is it realistic? Is it timely? Because if you write something down, it's for you to go, okay, is that an attainable goal? Can I really do that? Is it realistic? And is it going to be realistic for me to get that done? You might say, because maybe you say, okay, my goal is to lose weight. I'm going to work out every single day. And then you get to here and it says, is it attainable? And when you go back, you go, is it really attainable or realistic that I'm going to actually work out every single day when I haven't even been working out one day a week? Then it might make you kind of rethink, is your goal really realistic or timely? And then we want to schedule that time that you're going to spend working on that particular decision. So you really want to schedule that time, and it's probably you need to convert these times to either your daily agenda, which that's what we're going to go over. That's going to be next, your daily agenda. You need to convert that to your daily agenda, or you need to convert that to your phone calendar where you keep track of your time. That needs to be in your appointment book, okay? And so the weekly decision tracker is just for you to get a top priority for that week so that you can stay focused. As I switch the pages here, anybody have any thoughts or comments on that? Okay, I didn't hear anybody, so I'm just going to move on, switch gears here to the daily agenda. Okay, and so I just used today, and some of this, if it doesn't match up, don't hold me to the wall, because I was just trying to give you guys some examples, right? So my daily agenda, and you have one for every day during the week if you want to use it. call client, pay bills, pick up laundry. That's just a general to-do list. Okay. So that really is meant to be a general to-do list for little things. Stacy would love this because she likes to have every single thing, including stuff like pick up laundry, written down so she can check it off. It's like her favorite thing to do, right? Check stuff off. So that little to-do list really is kind of those little extra, stop by the bank, pay my Verizon bill, call Stacy and set up a lunch date. Those are truly meant to be just those little to-do lists, those little things that you want. Call my mom. Those little things that you want to get done that if you don't write them down, you're probably going to get to the end of the day and go, oh my gosh, I forgot to call my mom again today, right? So that's what that's meant for. You can utilize it however you want to, but that's what it's meant for. And then incorporate thoughts and resources. So I just, really incorporated some of where my thoughts are, which is taking care of my health is my number one, getting back on my healthy lifestyle because I've been really bad, and do not skip workouts. And my favorite quote, I just put that in there because this is how I live my life. The emotion follows the action. I never feel like working out. I never feel like picking up the laundry. I never feel like, making the phone calls or anything, but I know once I do, I feel better. And then this is just meant to be your little daily agenda. I've got community networking learning, and then I just X'd off the time that I'm going to be in that. And then my curves workout and meeting with Brittany, and I'm going to go to the grocery store. And I actually do put the grocery store in my schedule because it is a very important, for me, it is a very important piece of living a healthy lifestyle, is making sure that I have what I need to be successful. And so I will procrastinate going to the grocery store like nobody's business. And I have to put it in the calendar because I hate to do it. And if I just have to do it. When it pops up, it's like, oh, I don't want to go. Kurt's laughing because he has experienced my whining about the grocery store. So, this is for you. It's personal for you. And this is just my example to show you. Okay. And it's just a little daily agenda. And it was put in there. I have the second D in decide the 6 steps to success is develop discipline. And that's why you see develop discipline at the top, because when you develop enough discipline to kind of keep your life on a calendar, you're going in the right direction. That is a good sign that you're moving in the right direction and that you're going to accomplish eventually you're going to accomplish what you need to accomplish to be successful. So that's the daily agenda. So the last one real quick to go over is the weekly reflections. And, okay. So this is where, and you also, I didn't put that page in there, but in the beginning of your week, there is a place for you to journal. There's a page that you can journal, and you can journal, you can break it up, journal, at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. You can journal all at the end, all at the beginning, a little every day. But just for you to write down some of your thoughts, that is in there for you to journal. But then this is the second part of your journaling, which is your weekly reflection. Okay? And so you just think back at the end of the week, and you could do this right before you set your plan for the next week. What did you do well? What are you grateful for? What would you change if you could? How do you feel about next week? Okay? So what did I do well? Assuming I get done what I want to get done. I completed my miles that I ran. I contacted everyone about conference. I followed my plan most days. I just assumed that this is what's going to happen, right? Because I wanted to fill it in so I could show you guys. And so those are things that I hopefully will get to the end of the week and feel like I did well in. What are you grateful for? I just wrote my health. I am so grateful every day. I thank God. And I work hard to have good health. It's not easy. It takes work. But I also know that, I don't take it for granted, and I want to work hard and stay healthy. It's one of the number one things. I'm outside of my husband and my children and my faith. My health is probably right there. I'm grateful for Kurt and Melissa. I just can't even, there's not enough words. So I would write that probably every week. They probably don't even know how grateful I am for them, but I am. And I'm grateful for Zoom. I am so grateful for Zoom. As much as, we all are like, I'm zoomed out. I don't want to hear it. Don't say you're zoomed out anymore, because this is the way we're going. This is what we got to do to connect. We have to just embrace it and be grateful for it. And thank God that we have Zoom, because we would be in isolation. I mean, it would be very isolating right now to not have Zoom. And Zoom is keeping a lot of businesses alive, like ours and yours. And I know Stacy, when I talked to her yesterday, she'd had like 3 Zoom meetings. She's meeting with her clients via Zoom. So let's not jump on that negative Zoom bandwagon. And let's spread the cheer. Let's be people of good cheer about Zoom. And when you hear somebody say something negative about Zoom, let's remind them how great it is to have this technology. And that if it's handled and used properly, it almost starts to feel like you're really in person. I don't ever want to replace in person. You guys know that for real. I love in person. And I'm prayerfully believing that January 28th and 29th of 2022, we will have a massive, although that'll be a new year, I'll have to come up with a new world, but we'll end it with a massive in-person conference for all of our members from all over the world to come to in person if they want to, or to watch it from virtual from wherever they are. And so, what would you change if you could? Better communication. If I could change anything, for me, the communication for us on our end, everybody likes to communicate differently. Some people like text, some people like email, some people like social media, some people like a phone call, some people, you know what I mean? And communication is just a struggle. So if I could change anything, that's what I would change. And how do you feel about next week? I am excited to keep on track. I'm just so excited to be committed myself to filling in my Success Workbook and Journal every week, and keeping you guys on track and doing it too. And, this is our hashtag Live Decided. That's what we're doing. We're living decided. We are people who live decided. And that means that our yes means yes and our no means no. It's that simple. In its simplest terms, living decided means your yes is yes and your no is no. And you don't feel guilty about either. If you have to say no, you do it graciously and you move on. If you say yes, you do it with your whole heart and you do it well. That's what living decided means. And you figure out how to make that work. And so that is just a hopefully for you, a great overview in how to utilize your Success Book and Journal. Imagine if you had all your staff utilizing this, or you had all your clients on the same page, or, just envision that for a second, how that would look and the success that could come from that.